Good morning, 11 minutes past 8. This is GMTV. Now, our next guest is a famous model. She's happily married and she hopes to have a baby. Nothing unusual in that, except she used to be a he and the baby will be a surrogate one from her sister.
Well, before we meet Caroline Cossey, also known as model Tula, let's look back at her transformation over the years with Claire Catford.
Caroline was born Barry Cossey 38 years ago. Even at the age of 10, Barry was already troubled about his sexual identity. He lived as a male until he was 19. He then began a series of operations to change sex. After surgery at a London hospital, Caroline, as she then became, went to work as a photographer's model. Her career took off, and working under the name Tula, she starred in a James Bond film. It was then revealed that she was a transsexual, a fact that Caroline was happy to come clean about. Despite the glare of attention, she married. This relationship failed, but her second, to David, is thriving, and the couple are determined to have a child to complete their happiness.
Okay, so Caroline, this really must be the final act for you in coming to terms with what you are.
Well, I've always come to terms with what I am. I think it's just, you know, we seem to be dragging our feet somewhat legally here. So, no, I mean, I've come to terms with what I am quite some time ago, 20 years ago, in fact, when I had psychiatrist help. But
it must make the whole pattern complete for you, though.
Well, I'm happily married, and I think the next step for us is to have a child, and I'd love to have a child, and with my sister's help, it's going to be possible, so.
How common would it be for transsexuals actually to have children, to adopt children, have a surrogate baby?
I don't think it would be terribly easy here, with the aspect that I'm still legally male here. This is something I've been fighting for the last 8 years.
You now live in America, of course.
Sorry?
You now live in America,
yes,
just to explain to people.
Where it's much easier, and I legally married in the States and what have you, so it's not going to be a problem there. I don't know how many transsexuals, you know, I mean, unfortunately, because we feel so ashamed and embarrassed of what we are, we hide. So I'm sure there's an awful lot of transsexuals here that are in sort of hiding, that have children, and all have adopted. But
now, it's Sister Pam, isn't it, who's going to bear the child for you, we hope. Pam Cossey, she's going to join us now from the Norwich studios. Pam, are you there? Can you hear us?
Yes. Hello,
Right.
good morning.
We can't quite see you yet, you'll be coming up. There you are. Pam, was it a hard decision to make, to do this?
I'm sorry, a decision as such, it hasn't happened yet, but no, I think it's going to be plain sailing.
But I understand, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, that you haven't got any children of your own at the moment, have you?
No, I haven't.
But you would like to have children yourself?
Very much so, yes.
Well, how easy is it going to be to have a child and to give that child away?
I don't really feel I'll be giving it away as such. I think I shall tell myself from the word go that it's going to be Caroline and David's baby, and I'll condition myself from the start. And I feel very happy to do that for them, extremely proud indeed.
So you won't be at all tempted to keep the baby?
I don't think so, no. I wouldn't do that to them. I think it's the least I can do, actually, just to make them feel happy.
Even though, Pam, I mean, you're what, you're 37 now, this may be your only chance to have a child. You're not worried that, you know, maybe this may be your only crack at it?
No, I'm not worried at all. Not at all.
Okay, well, someone who can speak from experience on this whole point is Kim Cotton, renowned surrogate mother. One set of twins and one single birth, Kim. Is there any difference between what Pam and Caroline plan and what you've been through?
Not really. It's surrogacy. It's still one person wanting to help another, and because they're sisters, then really they have the freedom of choice. I think if Caroline had come to us at COTS, my organisation, which is Childlessness Overcome Through Surrogacy, I think we might have had a problem trying to find her a surrogate, only because people have, you know, we like to really keep it normal, which is a horrible thing to say, and I don't mean to prejudge, but I think we have to be realistic here, that we don't actually help gays, lesbians or transsexuals, because I just think the chance of finding them a surrogate would be probably very difficult. But that doesn't mean we frown on it, and because she has her sister, it's done within the family, and she's actually giving a baby, you know, that she's auntie to sister.
But in a sense, Kim, doesn't that make it more difficult? Because I presume that when you yourself had a child, gave it away, you have very little contact with whoever the child went to. But in this case, Pam will be watching that child growing up and maybe thinking all the time, well, I actually am the mother.
I don't think so. I think, as Pam said, you know, she's going to condition herself that she will be auntie to the child, and, you know, and also there are a lot of surrogates. Everyone's individual. We've had 60 babies so far within my organisation, and a lot of those are sisters for sisters, and they find it works very, very well. My only fear is that Pam should have her own child first.
But maybe something Pam or Caroline could answer here. I mean, think of the baby itself. This baby will eventually find out, I suppose, that its auntie is really its mother, and its mother is its uncle. In a way, if you see what I mean. I mean, but what about the environment that the child's going to be brought
really
up in?
the uncle,
What will you tell the baby?
Well, I'm not going to hide anything from it. I think when it's got awareness, I shall be totally truthful and honest. I think my child could do an awful lot worse. I mean, we're talking about normal, as a normal couple. I mean, you only have to read the papers today, and, you know, children are knocked about and tortured and all kinds of things. There's no way, you know, I'm going to guide my child, love my child, and give it support, so I think it could do an awful lot worse.
But you're very high profile in the cause of transsexuality.
Right, because I've been fighting for an issue. But the minute we start to have our child, then I want to have a quiet life, and I think I be entitled to that. And my sister Pam, you know, I don't want to give her any unnecessary anxiety, and she'll have the child in the States where it's perfectly legal and there's no problem.
Is that a good idea, Kim? If you have a surrogate child, just to come out of the limelight?
Oh, I mean, it'd be lovely to, you know, but not everyone has the courage to. You know, I did it with the IVF twins. I came out about it when I was 3 months pregnant. But it makes it a very public pregnancy, and there's a lot of pressure. That's why Pam must be protected from the pressure. It's very bad. It's bad enough being pregnant, with all that entails, without having public looking at it and tearing it apart and examining everything.
Well, Pam, there back in Norwich, do you think you'll be able to cope with the pressure? You've heard us talking about it here.
I'm very determined, yes, and I'm sure I will.
Right, okay.
No second thoughts.
None whatsoever. You couldn't change my mind. In fact, I'm rearing to go.
Raring to go, okay. She's raring to go. What's next in the procedure then, Caroline? What happens next?
You mean
Procedure. Pam's raring to go. When can all
the
this...
ins and outs of obviously inseminating it, but it's not going to... I've only just been married for sort of 5 months, so it's
One
not
thing at a
happening.
time.
And do you mind whether it's a boy or a girl?
As long as it's not transsexual, I don't mind what it is.
You want it to be a definite sex, yeah.
Yes,
of course.
I think, you know, I wouldn't wish transsexual, you know, being transsexual my worst enemy, so as long as it's regular, I hate the word normal, but as long as it's regular, I'm happy.
Okay, well, good luck, Caroline.
Thank you.
Kim, thank you very much indeed for coming in. And Pam, thank you for joining us from Norwich this morning. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
You're awfully alike, the two of you, incidentally.
Well, we are sisters.
Well, I know, but I mean, but you are awfully alike. Really, forgot who I was talking to there for a moment. Right, after the break, she's back as loud and as proud as ever.